What's happening, family? It's Cat Sports again, back for another afternoon with my people. Let me give my usual shout out to the JBT community. Just boxing talk. We're a group of people that just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a podcast, channel, or anything like that. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. Al Booger. What it do? What it do, Al Booger? How are you this afternoon? Welcome to another episode of Cat Sports Boxing Talk. This is the Monday afternoon edition. How was that weekend? Hope it was good. Mine was cool. Watched some football yesterday. Now this was the last weekend of the regular season. So the next stop is the NFL playoffs. Now my Ravens are the number one seed in the AFC. So they don't play until the second round, right? Now I'm a little worried because Lamar didn't play yesterday. So by the time the Ravens start playing in the second round, he will have missed 2 games straight, So he might come in a little rusty. Timing might be a little off. And in the playoffs, it don't take much to get you bumped, Because this time of the year, only the best teams are still playing, right? And most of them are playing their best football right now. So Lamar missing those 2 straight games is a little concerning. But hey, I guess it is what it is, and we just had to wait and see what happens. But we had boxing this weekend. Tony Weeks reared his ugly head again. But some people are making excuses for him, saying he's shell-shocked, or I think he's bought and paid. He's the one, shell-shocked, bought and paid. He needs to just retire. Okay? That's 2 bad stoppages in the last year for Tony, And when the fight starts to be about the ref instead of the fighters, any sport starts to be about the officials instead of the athletes, that's not good, man. But I'm gonna talk about the fights in a little while, but very briefly, because I got a big day planned today. Really a big week, I'm calling this week Top 10 Week. Yeah, I don't like that either, Al Booker. Especially when you got a first round bye. That's what the purpose of the bye is. You played all season for it, let him rest that week. Because now he's going to miss 2 weeks straight. I hate even having the bye, missing that 1 week after playing all season. So yeah, that's why I say it's a little concerning. I serve 88 in the building. Salute. I serve 88. But anyway, I'm calling this week Top 10 Week. I got that idea from something Al Booger said to me Friday. Because remember, Friday was, but everything's good, by the way, I serve. What's good with you, bro? Now, remember, Friday, the profile was on former Puerto Rican boxer Hector Camacho. And after the profile, Al Booger said to me, why don't I do a top 5 list of the best Puerto Rican boxers of all time, right? And I thought about it. I said, why don't I just make it a top 10? Then I thought about it further. I said, why don't I do a best top 10 list of a few different nationalities, right? So finally, I came up with the idea of Top 10 Week. And what that's going to be is each day this week, I'm going to do a best top 10 of a different nationality or category each day, okay? Starting today will be the top 10 European boxers of all time, right? That's going to be today. And the profile will also be on a European boxer, Lennox Lewis, who is from England. So top 10 week, that should be fun. Okay. And also we're going to take a look at the junior welterweight division. You know, yeah, I don't like resting the starters yesterday because they're going to rest the first week because they got the bye. I would have rather have had them at least play a half yesterday, you know, because now it's 2 weeks straight. And, you know, they might start out a little bit rusty after playing, 17 weeks. Now you got 2 weeks straight off. And you come in a little time and a little off. It don't take much to get you bumped in the playoffs. But like I just said, you're playing the best teams. The only thing left is playoff teams now. And most teams are playing their best football at this time of the season, man. So we'll see what happens, though. I still like my Ravens. Yeah. Pittsburgh had all kind of trouble beating our backup Saturday. I hope they're not bragging about their game. They better put John Harbaugh on their Christmas list. He's the only reason they made the playoffs. Clearly, the Ravens' first string would have blew them off the field, would have put foot straight in their ass. They barely beat our backups. What's up, Mike Mason? Salute, bro. How are you today? Yeah. Okay, let me do my daily update on Kazuki Anaguchi. He's the boxer that's went unconscious after his fight on December 26th. He was on the undercard of Naoya Inoue and Marlon Tapales. As of Saturday, he was still unconscious in the hospital. It's hard to find information about it. Nobody's talking about it. It's just crazy. But as of Saturday the 6th, he was still in the hospital unconscious, And what happened was he finished, he didn't get knocked out. He lost the decision. But he got knocked down 4 times during the fight. And he finished the fight on his feet. But after the fight, he had trouble standing in his corner and trouble walking to the dressing room. So he took him to the hospital, lost consciousness en route. He was put in a medically induced coma and had an operation called, what was the operation called? A type of brain surgery called a craniotomy, right? And he suffers from a condition called subdural hematoma. And he's still in the hospital unconscious. So as I was saying all last week, if you are a praying person, say one for Kazuki Anaguchi, okay? Because he's one of the people that steps through those ropes and puts his life on the line for our entertainment, So if you are a praying person, say one for Kazuki Anaguchi. Boxing Menu Podcast. Salute, bro. Yeah. Al Booger, I got the top 10 Europeans today, Puerto Ricans tomorrow, women Wednesday, Mexicans Thursday, and top 10 American fighters Friday. Okay. I don't even know 10 African fighters. Oh, man. Yeah. Caribbean would be including Cubans. But we'll see. We're going to work it in this week. But salute to the Boxing Menu Podcast in the building. Let's take a quick look at what happened Saturday. Just a quick look. But Tony Weeks, I don't know what to say about Tony. I don't want to talk about him much. I think he's getting paid cheap. But some people think he's shell-shocked because of, the Badu Jack debacle when the man's face was all bloody and what happened with that. And then David Morrell put a guy into a coma on a fight that Tony Weeks was refereeing. So if he's shell-shocked or if he's being paid, either way, he needs to just retire, okay? Because there's 2 fights in the past year he stopped prematurely that clearly shouldn't have been stopped. So, I just think it's time for Tony to go. You know, that's it. That's all. Now, Virgil Ortiz did get the first round TKO, and it was clear he was going to stop the guy anyway. You know, but Tony kind of robbed Virgil too. You know, with the nonsense. But Virgil got the first round TKO, and he improves to 20-0, and it keeps his 100% knockout rate intact. Frederick Lawson, he has 4 losses now, all 4 by stoppage. Right? And Ismael Moroso, first round TKO. Now in line for another shot at Rolly. Now if he gets it, it's up for debate, but he's in line for it. Rolly jumps on the ring apron to congratulate him. I wonder what Barroso said to him. You next. Armor Barboza keeps his undefeated record with a 8th round TKO. Raul Curiel came up with an 8th round TKO, and he has like an 85% knockout rate. That was his 12th stoppage in 14 fights. And he had one 4-round fight. Emiliano Gondora defeated Isaac Matamoros. First round TKO. Gondora goes to 2-5. Matamoros got to 1-2. It was a 6th fight on the card, but I don't know what happened to that. You give Tony a pass, Al Booger? No, I don't give him no pass, man. He stopped the fight too soon. You know, the guy's in there. I mean, it's boxing, man. You can only protect the people so much. You start protecting them too much, now you're taking away from the fight. One of the objects of the sport is to knock your guy out. That's a way you win. So, you know, I'm not giving him no pass. I think he should retire, you know, because that's 2 fights in the past year that's been about him instead of the fighters. But as an official in any sport, when it starts being about you instead of the athlete, you need to get the hell out of the way, man. So, you know, that's how I feel about it. But, you know, I don't know. I could be wrong. I just think he needs to retire. Because he's starting to, you know, we're starting to talk more about Tony after the fights he refereed. That's twice in the past year. It should never be about the referee after the fight. He should be like the invisible third person in that ring, okay? Never. After every podcast I've been on since Saturday, they're talking about Tony before they're talking about the fight. No. Not good. Not good. Yeah. But either way, Al Booger, he needs to retire. If he's shell-shocked, then he don't need to be in there refereeing because he's going to stop the next one prematurely. You know? I mean, what do you do? How can you put him in as the referee? If he's worrying about the fighter getting hurt more than he's worrying about refereeing the fight. You know? I don't know. But big day planned. We got the top 10 European boxers of all time. But first we're gonna we got a profile on Lennox Lewis, who was a former European boxer from England. Okay. We're gonna take a look at him today. Well, you like that lineup, Al Booger? Good. You gave me the idea when you said about the top 5 all-time Puerto Rican fighters, and I said, yeah. I said about top 10. Then I said, well, just do a few different nationalities or categories like European, you know, and women. Got to put the women in there. Yeah, that's tomorrow. No, the Puerto Ricans tomorrow. Women Wednesday. Mexicans Thursday. Top 10 American fighters of all time Friday. Now, the European list Uh, Probably haven't heard of it. Majority of these lists is old school fighters from like the 30s, 40s, because it's all time. It's not just modern era. So, you know, but to be did it fairly. A lot of those guys back then, in front of a lot of these guys that's fought in the last 30, 40 years. That's just the way I saw it. But you'll see. Let's take a look at Lennox Lewis as our profile for today. Okay. He was nicknamed the Lion, Lennox Lewis. Lennox the Lion Lewis. Okay. Lennox Claudius Lewis. Okay. He was born September 2nd, 1965. He's a commentator now, former professional boxer. He competed from 1989 to 2003, 14 years. He's a 3-time world heavyweight champion and a 2-time lineal champion. And he was the last heavyweight to hold the undisputed title, okay? But he was before the 4-belt era, okay? But he was the last heavyweight to be undisputed. Yep, hold all the titles at one time. And we should be getting one next month, if it's not a draw between Fury and Usyk. But Lennox was the last one. Okay, he holds dual British and Canadian citizenship. He represented Canada as an amateur at the 1984 and 88 Olympics. Won a gold medal in 1988 in the super heavyweight division. Wow. Super heavyweight. Okay. In his first 3 years as a professional, he won several regional heavyweight championships, including the European, British, and Commonwealth title. After winning his first 21 fights, he defeated Donovan Razor Ruddock in 1992 to take over the #1 position in the WBC rankings. And remember, he was declared champion that year after Riddick Bowe gave up the title to avoid defending it against Lewis. He defended his title 3 times successfully before an upset knockout loss to Oliver McCall in 1994. He avenged that loss in 1997 in a rematch against McCall. And the WBC title was vacant at that time. He had 2 fights against Evander Holyfield in 1999. The first one was a controversial draw. And the second one, that's when he became undisputed. He had the WBC title. Holyfield had the WBA and IBF. Okay. Now, the WBO was around at that time, but it wasn't recognized by the big 3. At that time was WBA, WBC, and IBF. So Lennox was the last undisputed heavyweight champion, holding the WBA, WBC, and IBF. What's up, B3? What's going on, bro? Good to see you. Welcome. B3 in the building. What's happening? Talking about Lennox Lewis as the profile for today, B3. The last heavyweight undisputed champion, although it was just 3 belts at that time. Okay. Now, in 2000, the WBA stripped Lennox Lewis of his title when he chose to fight Michael Grant instead of the mandatory challenger, John Ruiz. Okay. Then the IBF stripped him in 2002 when he didn't face his mandatory challenger, Chris Bird. Okay. In 2001, he got knocked out by Hasim Rahman, but then he avenged that defeat later that year. Okay. Came back to beat Rahman. at work. Appreciate you stopping through, B3. Blessing to you, bro. Appreciate you stopping through. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you again. B3 in the building. Knowledgeable boxing fan there. Our resident Devin Haney fan. B3. Appreciate you, B3. Okay, now. Lennox Lewis defeated Mike Tyson in one of the most highly anticipated fights in boxing history. Okay. Now, prior to that fight, he was awarded the Ring Magazine heavyweight title, which had been discontinued in the late 1980s, right? Started back up in 2002, and Ring awarded it to Lewis, okay? In his final fight in 2003, he defeated Vitaly Klitschko in a brutal and bloody fight, okay? He vacated his remaining titles and retired from boxing in 2004. Okay, Lewis was 6'5" with an 84-inch reach. Usually came into his fights about 245. Regarded by many as one of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time. Definitely one of the greatest British fighters of all time. No doubt about that. Old school William, old school Rant in the building. Salute, salute. Good to see you, old school. Glad you could make it, bro. Looking at Lennox Lewis. Then we're going to look at the top 10 European fighters of all time. The CAS Sports top 10 European fighters of all time coming up after Lennox Lewis. So stick around for that. Okay? Now, look, early life of Lennox Lewis. Like I said, he was born on September 2nd, 1965 in West Ham, London, to Jamaican parents. And according to his mother, he would often fight with other children growing up, okay? Wow. He weighed 10 pounds, 10 ounces when he was born. And the doctor named him Lennox because he said he looked like a Lennox. Lewis moved to Canada with his mother in 1977 when he was 12 years old. He attended Cameron Heights Collegiate Institute for high school, where he excelled in Canadian football, soccer, and basketball. In the 1982-83 school year, he helped the school's AAA basketball team win the Ontario Provincial Championship. Okay, Remo pound JBT in the building. Remo pound JBT. Okay, I tell you, man. And you know what? That JBT is getting to be fire, man. You know? And you don't never know what you might find in the JBT, man. You know? You might even find a guy with his own clothing line in the JBT, which we have. Remo. RichThreads.com. All right? You can shop online. www.RichThreads.com. That's RichThreads.com from Remo. I told you, you don't know what you might find in the JBT, man. So you better get with the program. Remo even got a show coming up too. Let's Talk Fashion. Be on the lookout for that. Okay? Hashtag JBT. Y'all better get with it. Okay. Yeah, we're talking about Lennox Lewis. Okay? Let's take a look at Lennox's amateur career right quick. Okay? Jalise Hart. That's Thomas Hill, right? Jalise Hart. Are you AKA Thomas Hill today or what? Let me know now. I think Jalise Hart is T. Hill. But salute Jalise Hart. Welcome to Cast Sports Boxing Talk. Good to see you, my friend. Jalise Hart in the building. The one and only T. Hill. Okay. Amateur career. Lewis, he played soccer, Canadian football, basketball, but he eventually decided that his favorite sport was boxing. Okay. He really got into it seriously in 1978. He became dominant in the amateurs and won the gold medal at the Junior World Championships in 1983. At age 18, Lewis represented Canada in the super heavyweight division at the 1984 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. By that time, he was ranked number 6 in the world, okay, in the amateurs by the AIBA. I think it's the Amateur International Boxing Association, right? He advanced to the quarterfinals that year. He eventually lost to Tyrell Biggs of the United States. And Tyrell went on to win the gold medal, remember? LA 1984. Despite being 6 feet 5 inches tall and having a very strong punch, his coaches admitted they had to pressure him to convert size and raw talent into aggression. His amateur coaches were Arnie Boheim and Adrian Teodorescu, who guided Lewis to the Olympic title in 1988. So he lost to Tyrell Biggs in the quarterfinals in 84. So he didn't medal, but he got to won the gold in 88. All right, Lennox. After the Olympics, he chose not to turn pro. He fought 4 more years as an amateur. This was after 84, the first time when he lost. He fought 4 more years to go back and get a second chance at the gold medal, which he was successful in doing. At the 1986 World Championships, he lost in the preliminary round to Peter Stobanov of Bulgaria, East European. Later that year, Lewis won gold at the Commonwealth Games. He had a close fight against Cuban Jorge Luis Gonzalez at the 1987 Pan American Games, super heavyweight final. The American judge scored the fight in favor of Lewis 60-57, while the judges from the Dominican Republic, Venezuela, and Uruguay called about 59-58 for Gonzalez. Because in the amateurs, they have 4 judges. So he lost that one. He avenged that loss shortly after that, boxing for the North American amateur title 8 days later. Because you're in the amateurs, you might fight 2-3 times in 3 weeks, Anyway, back then, After winning 7 more amateur titles in the following years, he traveled to Seoul, South Korea for the 1988 Summer Olympics and achieved his goal. In the gold medal final, Lewis defeated Riddick Bowe with a second-round referee stoppage. Maybe that's why Riddick vacated his belt later on as a professional and refused to fight Lennox. He beat him in the Olympics, okay? And Lewis was the first super heavyweight gold medalist to also win the World Heavyweight Championship. He became the first Canadian to win a gold medal in the Olympics in 56 years. No, I didn't hear about that, old school. When was that? On his other eye? Oh, that was before the fight? No, I didn't hear anything about that. Wow. No, that would take away from the win for me. He got in there, so hey, Skywalker, what's up, bro? Hey, Skywalker, I'm thinking about doing a profile on your uncle one of these days soon, bro. Bobby Chacon. I was reading, I did a profile on Camacho Friday, and I read about how Bobby Chacon refused to go to Puerto Rico to fight Hector, and they stripped him. But I didn't think that was right. How could they strip him? He was the champion for going to somebody else, for not wanting to go to somebody else's country and fight him. I didn't think that was right at all, man. You know, I never knew that had happened to Bobby like that. Wow. Then they let the guy fight that he had beat for the title, Fort Hector. So that was really bad. But I'm going to do a profile on him pretty soon. Unc Dre Finest in the building. What's up? A salute to Skywalker and Unc Dre Finest, who also just came into the building. Talking about Lennox Lewis today. And I'm going to do the Cat Sports top 10 European boxers of all time in a few moments. Yeah, probably one day next week, Skywalker. Okay. Yeah. Profile on Bobby Chacon. Yeah. Okay, let's continue with this. But no, I didn't know that old school about the other eye. This is the first I heard about that. Man. Oh, that's news to me. Couldn't see the jab, huh? Okay. Upon turning professional, Lennox Lewis had an amateur record of 85 wins, 9 losses. Okay. Now, after he won the gold medal, he was approached by a few big-time boxing promoters, including the Bobfather himself. However, he was not overly impressed by their contract offers and thought about signing a professional contract with a Toronto-based promotion group. He said, I feel like a basketball player being scouted by scouts down in the States. I don't want anyone controlling me. These offers coming to me after the Olympics are mainly because I won the gold. What you think they're because of, fool? Of course they're because you won the gold. The gold medal takes a whole lot of credibility in with it, man, you know? Okay, now, let's take a look at his professional record. Lennox Lewis. Got to keep track of the time because I got to do this European thing. Just Do Boxing in the building. What's up, Just Do? Salute. How are you today, bro? Just Do Boxing coming up at 4 o'clock. Fire content every day. The Voice, Just Do Boxing in the building. Salute, Just Do. Good to see you, bro. Talking about Lennox Lewis today. Then you're going to get the Cat Sports top 10 European boxers of all time. Around 3 o'clock, I guess. Okay, let's take a look at Lennox's professional career. Okay. Amateur career, what was he? I think it was 85-7. 75-7. 58 by knockout. Okay. Not bad. Okay. Mike Masick. Oh, you've been in here, Mike. Mike is always in here early. Yeah. Salute anyway. Mike Masick, salute, bro. How are you today? Yeah, old school. That's news, man. A lot of people hadn't heard about that. That surgery. Wow, I did not know that. So he had surgery on the other eye. Now, what was that related to? Was that from the car accident or? Wow. Unc Dre Finest in the building. What's up, Unc Dre? Good to see you, bro. Okay, Lennox's early career. Having achieved his goal of winning a gold medal in the Olympics, he declared himself a professional and moved back to his native England. Okay, so he fought out of England when he first started. Won the gold medal as a Canadian. Okay. He claimed he always considered himself British. One article reported that many British fans regarded him as a Canadian at heart and a Briton for convenience. Wow. In 2015, Lewis explained, when I turned pro, I had to go to the United Kingdom in order to pursue my career. The infrastructure to develop boxers wasn't in Canada at that time. Lewis signed with promoter Frank Maloney, and his early professional career was filled with knockouts of journeymen, as well as fighters such as Osvaldo Ocasio. I need a drink of water right quick. Excuse me. Oh man, who is that, man? Forgive me. Spam. This spam call calls me at the exact same time every day. Remember, I'm always on here. That's crazy, man. Every day. And it says potential spam. Crazy. Okay. After Lennox signed with American promoter Main Events, he won the European heavyweight title in 1990 against Frenchman John Maurice Sinet. I think the Barfather had something to do with Main Events. Yeah. Because there was a company called Main Events that was a predecessor to Top Rank back in the 60s. Yeah. In his next fight in March 1991, Lewis won the British title against undefeated world ranked Gary Mason. And in April 1992, he won the Commonwealth title against Derek Williams. He was a top 5 heavyweight, and during this period, he also defeated former WBA heavyweight champion Mike Weaver, who was a 1984 Olympic gold medalist Tyrell Biggs, who beat Lewis in those Olympics, so he avenged that loss. And he beat former world cruiserweight title holders Glenn McClory, Levi Billups, and Mike Dixon. On October 31st, 1992, Lennox knocked out Canadian Donovan Razor Ruddock in 2 rounds for the #1 contender's position in the WBC rankings. It was his most impressive win to date as a professional and established him as one of the world's best heavyweights, okay? Sportscaster Larry Merchant declared, "We have a great new heavyweight," okay? Now, the win over Ruddock made Lewis the mandatory challenger for Riddick Bowe's heavyweight championship. That's when all that nonsense happened. Now, Bowe had lost to Lewis in the Olympics, remember? Now, Bowe held a press conference during which he threw his WBC title belt in a trash can, relinquishing it to avoid a mandatory defense against Lewis. Okay? On 14th December 1992, the WBC declared Lewis its champion, making him the first world heavyweight title holder from Britain in the 20th century. Okay? Wow. That's hard to believe. 1992, a world heavyweight, okay, because I get right there was plenty world champions from Britain. He was the first heavyweight world champion. Okay, now that's believable. Because I knew there was plenty champions. Wow. You ready to say? Remo, let's talk fresh. So here, Jamaican, British, Canadian. Yeah. Yeah, he was all of them, Remo. Now, to be fair, he was born in England and it said 2 Jamaican parents. Okay. I guess they make him a Jamaican, right? But that's what it said. It didn't say he was Jamaican. It said he was born in England, 2 Jamaican parents. Yeah. But pretty much you're right, Remo. Jamaican, British, Canadian. Yeah. Now he won the Olympics as a Canadian and he won the world title as British. So I don't know. Okay. Now, yeah, he got awarded the WBC title that Riddick Bowe threw in the trash. Now he defended that belt 3 times. He beat Tony Tucker, Frank Bruno, and Phil Jackson, all 3 by knockout. Now, the fight between Lennox Lewis and Frank Bruno was the first time in modern history that 2 British fighters fought for the world heavyweight title. Okay? Now, he lost that title to Oliver McCall on September 24th, 1994. That was a huge upset. It was in the Wembley Arena in London. In the second round, McCall landed a big right cross, putting Lewis on his back. Lewis beat the count, right? But stumbled forward into the referee in a daze. Referee Jose Guadalupe Garcia felt Lewis was unable to continue and ended the fight, giving McCall the title by technical knockout. Lewis and others argued the stoppage was premature, and that the champion should be given the benefit of the doubt. Not if you just got up there, you're going to fall forward, and the referee telling you to walk, and you fall forward into him. You lucky you ain't never had Tony Weeks referee one of your fights. You call that bad? Shit. In spite of the Lewis camp protest, Boxing Monthly editor Glenn Leach pointed out that Lewis only seemed to recover his senses once the fight was waved off, and that in the opinions of everyone I spoke to at ringside, the decision was correct. After the fight, Lewis decided he needed a new trainer to replace Pepe Correa, who had become increasingly difficult to work with. Pepe was a pretty good trainer back in that time. Correa denounced Lewis in public after being fired. Renowned trainer Emmanuel Stewart, who had been McCall's trainer during their fight, was Lewis's new trainer. Yeah, Emmanuel Lewis. Even before the fight with McCall, Stewart had seen much potential in Lewis and immediately expressed a desire to work with him. He corrected several of Lewis's technical flaws, which included maintaining a more balanced stance, less reliance on his cross, and a focus on using a strong, authoritative jab, the latter of which would become a hallmark of Lewis's style throughout the rest of his career. Yep, that jab. He became known for that jab. And him and Emmanuel Stewart's partnership lasted until Lewis's retirement. Now, he lost that title to Oliver McCall, but he did win it back. BN Boxing News in the building. What's up, BN Boxing News? Salute. Yeah, I was looking for you after the fight, sir, the BN Boxing News. I couldn't find you. I think you said you came on real late or something, right? Yeah, because I remember you had said you was coming on after the fight. Okay. So you must have came on after I gave up. Yeah. Okay, but I was looking. But salute, BN Boxing News in the building. What's up, BN Boxing News? Okay, now, but he did get the WBC title back. In his first comeback fight, he was given the chance to fight for the mandatory challenger position in the WBC, okay? And he knocked out American Lionel Butler. However, at the behest of Don King, the WBC bypassed him and gave Mike Tyson the first chance at the title. Okay? Which had recently been won by Frank Bruno. You know, Don spread that money around. Don didn't care. Okay? Because Bruno took it from Oliver McCall, who took it from Lewis. And Bruno had previously lost to both Lewis and Tyson. But Lewis had the number one contender slot in the WBC rankings when he knocked out Australian Justin Fortune. Then he defeated former WBO champion Tommy Morrison in October 1995, winning the minor IBC title. Okay. This was followed by a close majority decision win over Olympic gold medalist and former WBO champion Ray Mercer in May 1996. Okay. Now, WBC title. And Lewis sued to make Tyson give him a title shot, okay? He was offered $13.5 million to fight Tyson to settle the lawsuit, but he turned it down. This would have been his biggest fight purse ever, okay? But then he accepted $4 million from Don King to step aside and allow Tyson to fight Bruce Seldon. That don't make too much sense. He turned down $13.5 million to fight Tyson, but he took $4 million to step aside. I guess he said 13.5 to go in there and fight Tyson, potentially get knocked out. 4 million to do nothing. So I guess it makes sense. I don't know. Almost a difference of $10 million though. Okay. Now, if Tyson, but Lewis did have a guarantee that if Tyson beats Seldon, he would be next in line, okay? After the Seldon fight, Tyson relinquished the WBC title to fight Evander Holyfield instead, so he didn't fight Lewis at that. They did fight eventually. So then the WBC title was declared vacant. This set up a rematch between Lewis and McCall, who met on February 7th in Las Vegas. Now, in one of the strangest fights in boxing history, McCall, who had lost the first 3 rounds, refused to box in the 4th and 5th rounds. Remember this? He then began crying in the ring, forcing the referee to stop the fight and award Lewis the victory and the title. As the newly recrowned WBC champion, Lewis successfully defended the title in 1997 against fellow Brit and former WBO world champion Henry Akinwon, who was disqualified after 5 rounds for excessive clinching. Okay. Then he fought Evander Holyfield to become undisputed heavyweight champion. Okay. On 13th March 1999, Lewis faced WBA and IBF title holder Evander Holyfield, and Lewis had the WBC. And because the WBO at that time was around, but it wasn't recognized by the other 3 as one of the major sanctioning bodies. Okay. In New York City, in what was supposed to be a heavyweight unification bout, Lewis fought a tactical fight, keeping Holyfield off balance with a long jab and peppering him with combinations almost at will. Although most close observers believe Lewis had clearly won the fight, the bout was declared a draw to much controversy. The raw statistics of the fight suggested the belt belonged to Lewis, who landed 348 punches compared to Holyfield's 130. Lewis also out-jabbed Holyfield 137 to 52. Wow. Judge Eugenia Williams, who scored the fight in Holyfield's favor, said she saw Lewis land fewer punches than Holyfield. Okay. Lewis Holyfield 2, undisputed once again. The sanctioning bodies ordered a rematch. 8 months later in Las Vegas, November 13th, 1999, the 2 men fought again in a more open and entertaining contest than the original fight, with the 2 boxers having some heavy exchanges from rounds 6 to 9. The punch stats, however, still clearly favored Lewis, who landed 195 punches to Holyfield's 137. Although Lewis landed 119 power shots and 76 jabs, showing a definite shift in his tactics from the first fight, when he focused more on the jab. This time, the 3 judges scored the fight unanimously: 115, 113, 116, 112, and 117, 111 in favor of Lewis, who became the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And he's still the last undisputed heavyweight champion to date, although it was just 3 belt undisputed at that time. Okay? Okay. This is getting kind of long. I want to get to my Lewis versus Tyson. Okay. I wanted to read this one. Then I want to get to Cat Sports top 10 European boxers of all time. Lewis versus Tyson. On June 8th, 2002, Lewis defended his title against Mike Tyson. Ticket sales were slow because they were priced as high as $2,400, but a crowd of 15,327 turned up to see boxing's then biggest event at the Pyramid Arena in Memphis, Tennessee. Tyson also had to pay Lewis $335,000 out of his purse for biting him at the news conference announcing the fight, which was originally scheduled for April 6, 2002 in Las Vegas. Wow. So Tyson bit Holyfield during the fight, and he bit Lewis at a press conference. Okay. Now, what the likes looking like? Likes looking good. If we could get 30, I would jump up and down. Okay. Okay. Memphis, Tennessee. Okay, so he bit Lewis at the press conference. It had been scheduled for April 6th, but Las Vegas rejected the fight because of Tyson's licensing problems, and several other states refused Tyson a license because Memphis finally bid $12 million to land it. By the end of the 7th round, Tyson was tired and sluggish, his face swollen and his eyes cut. He was knocked out in the 8th by a right cross. After the fight, George Foreman declared, "Lewis is no doubt the best heavyweight of all time. What he's done clearly puts him on top of the heap. This was the highest grossing event in pay-per-view history, generating $106.9 million for 1.95 million buys in the U.S. You hear that? Tyson and Lewis did 1.9 million pay-per-view buys in the U.S. Wow. That was the biggest pay-per-view in history to that point, until it was passed by Oscar and Floyd in 2007. Okay. Then he fought Vitaly Klitschko. After that, it's approaching 3. Then retirement. Okay. In 2008, when asked about a potential bout after being antagonized by Riddick Bowe, Lewis quipped, "He waits until I am in retirement to call out my name. I will come out of retirement to beat up that guy. I'll beat him up for free." In 2011, Bowe again confronted Lewis, this time over Twitter, demanding he put his gold medal on and let's fight for that, where Lewis remarked, "I thought we already did." Lewis worked as a boxing analyst for HBO on Boxing After Dark from 2006 until 2010. Now, Riddick Bowe had the chance to fight Lewis, but he threw his belt in the trash. Now he's talking all this trash about fighting. Phony. Okay. Lewis was a classic upright boxer who beat opponents from the outside with his dominant 84-inch reach. His jab, which was often a point shot early in his career, became a formidable weapon under the tutelage of Emanuel Stewart, which Lewis used to set up his signature punch, the straight right hand. Under Stewart, Lewis became less reliant on his right hand and displayed a more complete skill set. Criticized at times for being too patient and for his lack of in-fighting skills, Lewis was at his most effective when boxing from range. Known for his physical strength, Lewis was able to maneuver opponents in the punching range and was especially effective against taller opponents. Oh my God. Bear with me for a minute, please. I'll be with you in 1 second. Excuse me. Don't leave. Bear with me for 1 second. Be right with you. What'd you say, old school senior versus J Hardcore? Pay-per-view would do 1 million buys. Let's do it. Yeah. Hey, we got both of them right here in the JBT. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Senior versus J Hardcore. Who you got, old school? Huh? Who you got, old school? Okay, I'm back. Lewis was at his most effective when boxing from range. Known for his physical strength, Lewis was able to maneuver opponents in the punching range and was especially effective against taller opponents. Lewis eventually developed into one of the most complete heavyweights in history, able to box at range or fight aggressively when necessary, as well as being considered one of the hardest punchers of all time. Okay, take a look at Lennox Lewis's legacy. Okay. That's kind of long. Lewis was the 7th Olympic gold medalist to become world heavyweight champion after Floyd Patterson, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Leon Spinks, and Michael Spinks. He holds the distinction of being the first professional heavyweight champion to win a gold medal in the super heavyweight category, which was not created until the 1984 Summer Olympics. He is also the only boxer to represent Canada at the Summer Olympics and subsequently win a professional world title. Lewis was the first boxer to hold a British heavyweight title and subsequently win a world title, although 3 fighters have since repeated this feat: Herbie Hyde, Tyson Fury, and Anthony Joshua. Only Lewis also won the Lonsdale's belt outright. Lewis became one of only 2 boxers in history, and the first since Ken Norton in 1978 to be awarded the heavyweight championship without actually winning a championship belt. And the WBC awarded him the title in 1992. That was after Riddick Bowe threw it in the trash and refused to fight it. Lewis defeated 15 boxers for the world heavyweight title, the 5th most in history. His combined 3 reigns tallied 3,086 days, 8 years, 5 months, and 13 days. That's how long he held the title. Not consecutively, but totally, okay? In 2018, Boxing News ranked Lewis as the 3rd greatest heavyweight of all time, behind Muhammad Ali and Joe Louis. Now, I don't know about all of that. No. Along with Ingemar Johansson and Rocky Marciano, Lewis is one of the 3 world heavyweight champions to have retired with victories over every opponent he faced as a professional, okay? Now, he wasn't undefeated, but everybody he fought, he beat them. Even if they beat him, he came back and beat them, or he beat them and then he lost to him. But everybody he faced, he beat them at least one time. He's only one of 3 people to do that. In 1999, he was named Fighter of the Year by the Boxing Writers Association. Okay. Winding down. Oh, come on, man. The spam. Okay, personal life. This is the end of it. Personal life. Upon retiring from boxing, Lewis moved to Miami Beach with his wife, Violet Chang, a former Miss Jamaica runner-up. They have 3 children. Lewis is an avid amateur chess player and funded an after-school chess program for disadvantaged youth, one of whom earned a university chess scholarship at Tennessee Tech. All right. There you have it. The Lion, Lennox Lewis. Okay, now let's do this Cast Sports top 10 European boxers of all times. Y'all ready? Top 10 European boxers of all time. All right. Here we go. Take a drink of water real quick. Drum roll. Top 10 European boxers of all time. Now remember, many of them you haven't heard of. They from eras like 30s, 40s, but this is all time. And to be fair, some of those guys a lot better than these guys from this modern era, okay? All right. Starting at now this is okay. Now listen, boxing is not confined to America only, as it is a global sport adopted by many across continents. Europe has a fair share of outstanding sports personalities who left their marks on boxing history. Many boxers ruled the world during their era by showing brilliant success and approach towards the sport. One good knockout can make any boxer a star in the boxing world. Still, there's a long journey to cover for being called a superstar to join in the elite list of legendary boxers. Now, boxing skills, win-loss records, knockout finishes, and the overall legacy of a boxer are the main focus of this list, okay? Boxing skills, win-loss record, knockout finishes, and the overall legacy of a boxer are the main focus of this list. Number 10. Okay. Bear with me. Top 10 European boxers of all time. Number 10, Joe Calzaghe from Wales. Joe Calzaghe from Wales. Joe Calzaghe remained undefeated in his career and had multiple championship reigns in the super middleweight and light heavyweight divisions. Calzaghe is among only 15 world champions to retire from active competition undefeated. His love and affection for boxing did not allow him to stay away for long, and he returned to boxing with his company, Calzaghe Promotions. Calzaghe ended his career with a record 46 wins, with 32 of those coming from knockout. Known as the Terminator, he was the longest continual champion among active boxers before his retirement. Okay? Number 9, Benny Lynch from Scotland. Number 9, Benny Lynch from Scotland. Okay? You didn't see a lot of Bo growing up, Al Booger? Okay. Seems like you became most famous for throwing that belt in the trash. Holyfield, Tyson, Foreman, Lewis. Yeah. Yeah, Bo's best fight was their first one against Holyfield when he beat him. Around early 90s. I can't remember the year. That was the best fight I ever saw him in. The second fight was the man parachuted into the ring. I think Bo was on the way to winning that one too. But then that just upset the whole thing. And the guy parachuted and landed right in the ring. Top 10 European boxers of all time. Number 9, Benny Lynch. He was Scotland's first world boxing champion. Okay? Benny Lynch is the perfect example of failure is not fatal, but failure to change might be. Lynch has been long considered the greatest flyweight in Europe with a career record of 88 wins, 14 losses, 17 draws. That's a lot of draws, with 34 knockouts. However, he had more focus on alcohol than he did on his boxing career. Despite this, he toppled the flyweight legends of his era in boxing charts, with 119 fights in only 7 years. The best flyweight of the 1930s lacked the good fortune to carry on with his success in boxing, as Lynch would die at age 33 from hypothermia and alcoholism. Okay? Number 8, George Carpenter from France. George Carpenter from France. Carpenter fought in numerous weight classes, ranging from welterweight to heavyweight. He fought mainly as a light heavyweight and heavyweight, in a career lasting from 1908 to 1926. And I can't read my own writing. A French professional champion, on several occasions, he became the European champion before the First World War. On his return to the ring after fighting in the war, he was celebrated as a symbol of a sporting powerhouse, France, due to his performances in Great Britain and the United States. He won the World Championship in 1920 in New Jersey. Carpenter was elected to the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1991, a year after it was formed. And along with Marcel Cerdan, he remains one of France's best boxers of all time. Okay? Number 7. Jimmy McLarnin from Ireland. Jimmy McLarnin from Ireland, number 7. Okay, there's Jimmy. Called the Belfast Spider. Two-time 1930s welterweight champion, okay? Hypothermia, yeah. I don't know how that happened. And alcoholism. Jimmy McLaurin is an Irish-born boxer made famous by his nickname, the Dublin Destroyer. With his orthodox boxing style, McLaurin reached the peak of the boxing world from 1923 to 1936. Excuse me. One of the toughest and the bravest welterweights, the boxer had a career record of 55 wins, 11 losses, 3 draws, with 21 wins by way of knockout. From ruling Madison Square Garden to winning the welterweight championship, McLaurin's unique style and accuracy in delivering punches and hooks. His trilogy with another boxing great, Barney Ross, remains a shining highlight for boxing fans. Okay. Number 6, Marcel Cerdan from France. Marcel Cerdan of France. Okay, Marcel Cerdan. Told y'all a bunch of them are old boxers you never heard of, but they deserve these spots. Okay, Marcel Cerdan. Oh Lord, man, bear with me for a second. Okay, I got it. I keep hitting that one thing. Anybody's oh, come on, man. Okay, his tragic death could not vanish the greatness Marcel Cerdan had in boxing. Cerdan is ranked as the best French boxer to step foot on earth. He died in a plane crash in 1949, leaving a legacy of 15 years worth of brilliant boxing career. Cerdan had a career record of 110 wins and 4 losses, with 65 of those wins coming by knockout. 110 out of 114 fights he won. He won the middleweight championship in Europe, the NBA, predecessor to today's WBA, the ring, and the New York State Athletic Commission. Cerdan left a great legacy as a boxer and a warrior in World War II. Okay. Number 5, Lennox Lewis. Okay, top 5. Number 5, Lennox Lewis. Okay. Lennox Lewis. Number 5. At nearly 84 inches, Lennox Lewis possesses one of the longest reaches among the top boxers in the world. The quality of his opponents can measure the legacy of Lewis as he beat the likes of Hasim Rahman, Evander Holyfield, and Vitaly Klitschko in their prime. Fire resume. I just went over it, remember? The English-born Lewis has a career record of 41 wins, just 2 losses, 1 draw, 32 wins by knockout, including many title fights across different boxing promotions. Lewis remained intact with boxing fans through his services as a commentator and expert after he retired from the boxing ring in 2002. Number 4, Vladimir Klitschko from the Ukraine, one of the Klitschko brothers. The Klitschko brothers were a name of destruction during their prime time in boxing. The younger brother, Vladimir Klitschko, had 19 straight victories in heavyweight championship defenses for multi-promotional titles. 19 straight title defenses. Successful title defenses, that is. 19 straight. Okay? I lost my place. Okay, finishing at a career record of 64 wins, 5 losses, 53 knockouts. He is classified as one of the best heavyweights with the ability to knock out his opponents. The Ukrainian boxer built a strong legacy in the boxing world before retiring in 2017 after 2 back-to-back losses at the hands of Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. His greatness doesn't exist solely in the square circle, though. He was a hero outside the boxing ring as well. He fought in that Ukraine-Russian war, remember? Number 3, Vitaly Klitschko, the older of the Klitschko brothers. Okay? Yeah. Number 4, Oh, Lewis was 5, right? Vladimir Klitschko was 4, Al Booker. 3 is Vitaly Klitschko. Okay. The elder of the two Klitschko brothers made unforgettable memories in every field he entered. As a professional boxer, he had a career record of 45-2 with 41 big knockouts. Now that's a pretty good knockout rate there. Vitaly has been a proud warrior for the Ukraine-Russian war, and he's still a mayor of Kiev, Ukraine. The Klitschko brothers also hold a place in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most heavyweight title fights won by a pair of brothers. Vitaly is known as the greatest Ukrainian boxer of all time and ranked among the best knockout finishers in boxing history. Okay. Number 2, Rob Fitzsimmons. The frightening blacksmith. Rob Fitzsimmons was the first 3-division world champion in boxing history. Fitzsimmons took his opponents down early in his bouts with his stiff strikes and hard punches. Fitzsimmons remained the best boxer in the late 19th and early 20th century. According to BoxRec, Ruby Robb had a career record of 61 wins, 8 losses, 4 draws, with 57 wins by way of knockout. In 2003, the Ring magazine ranked Fitzsimmons the 8th hardest puncher of all time. Fitzsimmons entered the Guinness Book of World Records as the lightest heavyweight champion ever after winning the title at 165 pounds. You thought Vitaly was better old school? Yeah. Either or. You can flip-flop them. And number 1, the greatest European boxer of all time is Jimmy Wald. Most of y'all probably never heard of Jimmy, but he was a bad boy. The greatest European boxer of all time, hailing from Wales, is Jimmy Wald. Wald is known as Ghost with the hammer in his hand among boxing fans. Check this out. With a career record of 131 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, Wald's incredible knockout ratio would be enough to shake even the bravest boxers of today. Of those 131 wins, 98 came by knockout, meaning 1 out of every 4 opponents didn't make it to the final bell against Jimmy Wald. He fought 131 fights. Check this out. 131 fights, knocked out 1 out of every 4 people he fought. Okay? Wald had the longest undefeated streak that spanned 103 fights. His first 103 fights. Okay? The fluid punches and accurate hooks made him an immortal name in the boxing world. His legacy has been the cornerstone for bringing the boxing sport to fame in the early 20th century. Jimmy Wald is regarded as the 3rd best puncher of all time by BoxRec, which showcases his knockout power. Number 1, best European boxer of all time, the Ghost with a hammer in his hand, Jimmy Wald. Okay, to review, Cast Sports top 10 European boxers of all time. Number 10, Joe Kawasaki from Wales. Number 9, Benny Lynch from Scotland. Number 8, George Carpenter of France. I wish Ant McQueen was in here. Number 7, Jimmy McLaurin from Ireland. Number 6, Marcel Cerdan from France. Number 5, Lennox Lewis from England. Number 4, Vladimir Klitschko from Ukraine. Number 3, Vitaly Klitschko from Ukraine. Number 2, Rob Fitzsimmons from England. Number 1, Ghost with a hammer in his hand, Jimmy Wald of Wales, who started his career 103-0. Yeah, old school. I did have Vitaly in front as the better of the Klitschkos. Old school. You say you thought Vitaly was the better of the Klitschkos. Yeah, I had him as number 1. That's the best of those 2. Mm-hmm. Which one did you say, old school? Vitaly? me go back up. Yeah, I had Vitaly as the better one of the two, old school. Gregory Pratt in the building. What's up, GP? How are you today, bro? Good to see you. Gregory Pratt has entered the building. Okay. Now, tomorrow will be the top 10 Puerto Rican boxers of all time. Okay. I think the profile is what's his name? Puerto Rican boxer Felix Trinidad. Okay. Tomorrow is the top 10 Puerto Rican boxers of all time, and the profile will be on Felix Trinidad. Okay. Now let's take a look at the welterweight division. History of the welterweight division. Okay. What's the profile today? Lennox Lewis, right? Okay. Tomorrow, Puerto Rican boxer Felix Trinidad, as we take a look at the top 10 Puerto Rican boxers of all time. Now, tomorrow will be more from the modern era. Let me get to the Puerto Ricans, okay? I promise. There'll be more names you recognize. But this is all time, so, you know. And in England, a lot of the better boxers were the old school guys from the era of the 30s, 40s, 20s, 30s, 40s. It just is what it is, man. But tomorrow, the top 10 Puerto Rican boxers of all time, and the profile will be on Felix Trinidad. Okay? Let's take a look at the welterweight, history of the junior welterweight division, because I started at heavyweight and working my way down. And today we are at junior welterweight. Let's take a look at that real quick. And then we have time to drop the link, I guess. Okay. Now, history of the junior welterweight division, 140. Okay. Now, you know, they called those junior super divisions tweener divisions, and they didn't always have them. At one time, it was just, you know, straight on up, like featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, middleweight, heavyweight. There wasn't no tweener division, like the juniors and super divisions, okay? In professional boxing, junior welterweight, also known as light welterweight or super lightweight, is contested between the lightweight and welterweight divisions, which boxers weigh above 135 pounds and up to 140 pounds. The first champion of this weight class was Pinky Mitchell in 1922, though he was only awarded his championship by a vote of the readers of Boxing Blade magazine. There was not widespread acceptance of this new weight division in its early years, and the New York State Athletic Commission, which was pretty big back in them days in boxing, the New York State Athletic Commission withdrew their recognition of it in 1930. The National Boxing Association, which became the WBA, continued to recognize it until its champion, Barney Ross, relinquished the title in 1935 to concentrate on regaining the welterweight championship. Okay. A few commissions recognized belts in the 1940s as being for the light welterweight title. But the modern beginnings of this championship date from 1959, when Carlos Ortiz won the vacant title for victory over Kenny Lane. Both the World Boxing Association, WBA, and the World Boxing Council, WBC, recognized the same champion until 1967, when the WBC stripped Paul Fuji of the title and matched Pedro Adig and Adolf Pruitt for their version of the championship. Adig won a 15-round decision. The International Boxing Federation, IBF, recognized Aaron Pryor as its first champion in 1984. Hector Camacho became the first World Boxing Organization, WBO champion with his victory against Ray Mancini in 1989. Okay, so that's just a little history of the welterweight, junior welterweight. Now, the current world champions at junior welterweight are as follows: IBF is Subriel Matias, WBA, Rolly Romero, WBC, Devin Haney, WBO, Teofimo Lopez. And here's the current rankings. And this is as of January 1st, 2024. Okay. Now, all the other ones I did, this is the first one that was updated. The last ones were all from December. Because, the four sanctioning bodies, Ring Magazine, BoxRec, all do rankings. And they update them at different times of the month. And Ring Magazine does theirs right at the end. Okay? So this is as of January 1st, 2024. The Ring Magazine champion is Teofimo Lopez. Number 1 ranked, Devin Haney. Number 2, Josh Taylor. Number 3, Subriel Matias. Number 4, Jose Ramirez. Number 5, Regis Prograis. Number 6, Richardson Hitchens. Number 7, Jack Catterall. Number 8, Arnold Barboza. Number 9, Gary Russell. Number 10, Sandor Martin. And rightfully, you notice who's missing? And I agree with 100%. Rolly Romero is not in the top 10. And he's a champion at 140. But rightfully, he's not a top 10 boxer at 140. And Tony Weeks gave him his belt, right? Now let's talk about Tony Weeks a little bit, I'm gonna drop the link while I'm talking about Tony. Man, I just think he needs to sit down somewhere, man, because that's twice in the last 2 years, the fight ended, and it's about Tony Weeks instead of the boxers. That's not good. It should never be about the referee. And when that starts happening, it's time for you to go. Now, some people have made the it's valid excuse that maybe he's shell-shocked because you remember the Jadu debacle with his face all bloody, and then he refereed that fight when David Morrell put the guy in the coma. But if he's shell-shocked, then retire. You are no good for the sport. Me personally, I think he's being paid off. But either way, it's time for Tony to go. Any other sport, after the Rolly debacle, he would have been investigated. Any other sport. He would have been investigated by now. Any other sport other than boxing. Any sport but boxing. Okay? And it's crazy, man. They keep sending this man in there. This is the second bad stoppage in a year. One is too many. And even he robbed the winner, Virgil Ortiz, because Virgil was going to stop this guy. But, he didn't want it that way. Did you see Virgil face with that? Of course, now he's saying it was a good stoppage. But right after the fight, told the truth. Virgil did not like that, man. Because he saw he had the guy, man. He still had a minute and something in that round to get it. I would say by round 3, that guy would have been out of there, man. Would have been out of there by round 3. No question about it. But Tony Weeks. And I guarantee you, whoever paid him for this stoppage is upset at him because he botched it. The man don't even know how to cheat. He made it too obvious. He was standing there poised to jump in after Virgil hit the guy like 2 times. Come on, Tony. Stop it. You robbing the fighters. You robbing the fans. Because you want to pad your pocket. Or you shell-shocked. Whichever one it is, they both are bad. What y'all think, man? Whichever one it is, they both are bad. Oh, Lord. Oh, shit. Oh, excuse me. Left two. Okay. Can I get some feedback on the top 10 European fighters of all time? What'd you say, old school? No, okay. Only weeks he might have saved that kid tonight. But old school. The kid was in there. So what are you saying? That was a legitimate stoppage? No. The kid was in there, old school. So you can't say what Tony Weeks thought the kid had this and that, so he stopped the fight. No, you can't do that, man. No. No, I can't go with that, man. No. That was a bad stoppage. So that's what we're doing now? Oh, this guy might have his condition and die, so I gotta stop it. Did he had no business if they put him in there? You know? What do you do, man? It's crazy. It's crazy. So what was the kid supposed to have, man? What's the story on that? It's just crazy. So, Oscar, what you saying? The kid had no business in there in the first place, right? If that's the case, he shouldn't even have been in the ring. So somebody dropped the ball in it already. What about the rolling stoppage? What's the excuse on that one? What about the rolling stoppage? That ain't the only one for Tony. Did Barroso have some kind of condition that Tony was worried about Rolly might kill him? That Barroso might die? What about that one? Come on, man. No. I ain't letting Tony Weeks off the hook, man. Time for him to sit down somewhere. Because the story keeps being about him instead of the fight, man. No. No. So what the hell is he doing in there fighting with a damn aneurysm in the first damn place? Apparently somebody said it was okay. What they tell Tony, oh, he might have an aneurysm, so be ready to stop it at any moment. If you hit them 4 times, stop it. That's crazy, man. That's what we doing now in boxing. Putting guys in the ring with aneurysms and tell the referee, watch it, you might have to stop it prematurely. Is that what we're doing? Boxing is crazy enough without that. No, that's nonsense, man. That is pure nonsense, man. That's what I'm saying, old school. It shouldn't even have been in there in the first place. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Now, what about the Rolly Barroso stoppage? Did Barroso have an aneurysm or something? Because Tony sure stopped that one kind of early. I ain't letting him off the hook, man. I'm not letting him off the hook. I think somebody he got an envelope, getting envelopes, getting paid for this shit, man. I'm not letting him off the hook. No. Yeah, it was suspicious, man. GP. No. The guy shouldn't have been in there. They put him in there. And you rob Virgil, man. He's not getting his full credit for what he did. And if the guy had died and they found out he had an aneurysm, Tony Weeks wouldn't be getting the blame. Whoever signed off on him in there getting the blame. Tony Weeks still got to do his job, man. A fighter was put in the ring. He can't be thinking about, oh, this guy got this, I got to stop it prematurely. Hell no, the referee can't go in there thinking like that, man. He just can't. Takes away from the sport. People paying the hard-earned money to see this stuff, man. No. That cannot happen. It's just crazy, man. Yeah, it was bad. Tony Weeks needs to retire, man. He's starting to be the story instead of the fight. Every time we turn around, Tony Weeks is making another bad stoppage. You don't hear about Thomas Taylor involved in no bad stoppages like this. Kenny Bayless every year. Tony Weeks every time. I just think the man needs to retire, man. That's just me. But let me see what else is going on in our sports, man. And don't forget, tomorrow is the Puerto Ricans, top 10 Puerto Ricans of all time. And don't forget, Remo got the Let's Talk Fashion coming up show. First one to be dropping soon. Remo of Pound JBT. Gregory Pratt, Pound JBT is in the building. Al Booger. You're going to be seeing Pound JBT behind his name anytime now. William Old School Rant. They all Pound JBTs, you know. You don't have to be on your name, you know. We know it. This is a JBT community. Just a group of people that love to talk boxing. You don't have to have a podcast or a channel or anything. You just had to love to talk boxing, that's all. That's all we're doing. Talking boxing and whatever else. So, Old School, your Saints won the last game yesterday, so y'all gonna keep, what's the guy name now? Your coach? They're not gonna keep him out of the Old School. I thought he was history at the end of the season. The Saints coach. Wow. That's bad. I'm kind of concerned about the Ravens. They didn't play they set a lot of starters yesterday, and then they're gonna not play next week because of the bye. Now you got all these guys gonna be going into their first playoff game in the second round with 2 weeks off. You know? Maybe a little timing, starting out the game with timing. It don't take much to get bounced in the playoffs, you know. Because, you know, the best teams in the league are the ones playing this time of the year, you know. And like I said in the opening, usually most of the teams in the playoffs, most of them are playing their best football right now, man. So it don't take much to get you bounced. I just thought the Ravens should have played at least a half, you know. And then let them rest for the entire game next week. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry, Old School. Damn. Let me see. Sorry. I always do that. I'm going to cook you up. What did I do? Oh, I see exactly what I did, Old School. I'm sorry. My bad. Here it comes, Old School. Damn. My bad. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet for like 2 minutes. I see exactly what I did. Old School wanted to come up and chop it up. My friend, old William Old School Rant. Okay, I see exactly what I did, oh my God. Slow down, Cass. Here we go. Had somebody to chop it up with me and didn't do the link right. Where my buddy Ann McQueen at today? He went in a hangout this morning. Maybe he's a voyeur. Okay, Old School, I guarantee you this is right. Let me see. Yeah, I see exactly what I did, Old School. There you go, my brother. I know, T Hill. There it is. I left the S off. My bad. Come on up. We got 20 minutes to cook before just do boxing time. I guarantee you, bet the farm on that link right there. And Thomas Hill want to come up? Here we go. I told you. Uh-oh. Device not connected, old school. Go out and there you go. Now you're good. Now you're good. There you go, old
What's
school.
happening?
Let me turn this sound down a little bit. What's up, old school? Talk to me, bro.
Well, not much.
The floor is yours.
Look, I get it, you know, as far as Tony Weeks. He's had some bad stoppages, and maybe that's because of what's happened in past fights where he didn't stop it where he should have.
Yeah.
But
right.
The fact that they were going to let that kid in the ring after two doctors said he had an aneurysm and wasn't going to let him fight, then the promoters went and found another doctor that cleared him to fight. No, dude, no. That boy should have never been in the ring.
Never been in there. Never been in there.
Should have never been allowed in the ring. And then Tony Weeks was sitting there with that running through his head because he knew about it.
Yeah.
And then the kid gets in the first scramble and the kid's not fucking reacting to Ortiz hitting him. I mean, you know, what was he going to do? And I kind of agree with the stoppage, even though it was just a bad thing all the way around. They put it on Weeks. And that shouldn't have even been there.
But you know what? If something had happened, they couldn't have put that on Tony because he wasn't the one that signed off on that kid being in there, you know?
Yeah, but imagine him having to live with knowing that was going on and he didn't stop the fight.
Right, that's true. So they put him in a bad place. They put him in a bad spot.
Yeah, they put him in a bad spot.
Yeah. See, that's boxing,
I was jumping all over Weeks after that. Fucking shit. And then when he put that post out and I read it, I was like, holy crap, no wonder he stopped the fight.
Yeah. That's bad.
And if you notice, after he put the post out, nobody came back to contradict it from the promoter side.
So it's true, you know?
Yeah.
Why would you do some nonsense like that, man? That's crazy. Aneurysm?
Well, that is dirty shit there, bro.
Yeah.
You're playing with somebody's life.
And the guy should have. Why would he want to get in there with that condition? You got a guy laying up in Japan in a coma right now from the fight last month. Remember?
Hey, we don't know how that guy's finances are. That guy could have been way down on his luck with the money, and he just decided my family's worth it. I'm going for it.
Yeah, that's true too. And they gave him the okay. He shouldn't have got the okay in the first place.
No, he shouldn't have got the okay. He should have been kept out the ring. And more than likely, they didn't have a freaking another opponent for Ortiz, so they just pushed it through.
And with the way he's been missing, they didn't want that to happen again. It would have looked real bad for him to miss another fight. Yeah, so yeah, I can see that happen. That sounds like some nonsense Oscar then would do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oscar don't give a crap about them fighters to begin with.
It shows, man. It shows.
Look, bro, when he left Ryan out there by himself after that fight, I was done with it. With anything Oscar has to say.
There's Jay. What's up, Jay Hardcore? And Thomas Hill. Yes. What's up, Thomas Hill?
Oh my God. What's good with you, fam?
What up, Thomas?
Well, I am. What's good with you?
Just talking about Tony and Saturday. That's all.
From another mother.
What you think about that, Tony Weeks in the situation from Saturday?
Okay, so for Tony Weeks has been situations like this 4 different times. He's allowed fights to go beyond what it was 2 different times. Now, it comes to find out that this man fighting with 2 aneurysms and 2 bad tests.
I can see him.
You know,
I can see his thinking. Yeah.
So you know that's a good stoppage from that point of view. Like,
especially it being him, what he been through. You know, I see it now. Yeah.
But see, how does he have over to the other side? Information. Like he's not.
I was the hardest one on him after this weekend, man.
Yeah. But
me, everybody was on him.
Yeah.
I say that, you know, unless he was given that information, I don't know how he would know, how he would be privy to that information. And if he was privy to that information, that means Golden Boy is in some serious trouble.
More than likely, Oscar knew about it. Oscar went to Weeks and told him, look, the dude gets in trouble, pull him.
And you know, to be honest,
Crazy.
Oscar looking real shady. That whole promotion team right now looking real shady.
Yes, they do. Golden boy. Mm-hmm.
But if that's the case, one wrong punch could have ended that kid's life.
Yes, it could have. That's right, Jay. Foul people. Yeah, they show Oscar, like you said, Oku. He don't care about them fighters at all, man. All he think about is the money. You know, and they looking to hire. They didn't want Virgil to miss another. They wanted to make sure he got back in there this time. You know, so they just put the guy on. They couldn't find somebody else soon enough, probably. So they just put him in there anyway. Went and found a doctor that would clear him. That's crazy.
And that's pretty much what they did. They went and found a doctor that would clear that kid.
Yeah.
You know, anything to make a buck. You put people's lives in jeopardy to make a buck and trying to get these fighters to see that this is where it should be. Like I honestly, I would challenge all fighters this year to watch how they're being promoted, how they're being moved, and how they're being positioned to succeed at the very best that they can. And make a decision on where you want to be, because some of these people only got their best interest in mind.
Yeah. Man, if that guy would have went into a coma or something, somebody would have been into some serious trouble right now.
Yeah,
man.
would have been bad.
I could imagine Oscar telling that kid before the fight, look, you're going to sign this waiver just in case something bad happens.
You know he did. You know he did.
Yeah.
That's why they're trying to throw the blame on the commission and the doctors.
Yeah. Yeah, Al Booger, that's exactly, you can see the way he did it now. That's exactly what happened. They told him, first sign of trouble, stop it, you know, just so they got their fight.
Well, bro, I've known about boxing being bad, especially when it comes to shit like this for a long time. Ever since that Larry Holmes Ali fight, when they let Ali go out in there and fight, no, dude.
He clearly
Ali should have never been allowed in the ring against Holmes.
And he already had signs of that condition he ended up with at that time. Remember? Ali did.
Yeah, Ali was not in any condition to fight Holmes, and they still let it happen, all over money.
Yep, all over money.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to money and fights, there's no bigger name than Ali.
Yeah.
You can put him in there, and people are going to watch it just because his name.
Yeah.
And that's a shame, because like you said, he shouldn't have been in that ring at all.
No, not at all.
But if he came up in today's time and age and fought, man, it would be ridiculous.
And you know, he fought another time after that. He fought Trevor Berbick after Holmes. Even after that, he fought again. It's crazy, man. Because it was Ali, though, you know.
Well, I was young when that fight between him and Holmes happened. I literally had tears rolling down my face during that fight.
Holmes cried too after the fight. That was his hero.
I hated Holmes for years after that fight. I literally did, because I was like, how the hell could you accept that fight knowing that man was in that condition? And I hated him for years after that.
A lot of people did hate Larry Holmes, but Larry Holmes didn't want to make the fight.
No,
they forced him into that fight.
Yeah, but we didn't find any of that out till many years later.
Yeah, we did. At the time, we didn't know, you know.
By all intents and purposes, was his icon. Like he loved him some Ali.
He was a sparring partner. That's how he got his start, you know.
I listened to Holmes when he said he went to Ali after the fight. I don't know if it was in the hotel room or whatever, and he cried to Ali. He was like, I am so sorry. He's like, well, if you're sorry, why'd you beat me up?
Yeah, Ali
I remember that.
Ali a different individual, man. That man heart don't pump no Kool-Aid at all.
No.
At all. And he ain't afraid to go into any situation. I mean,
all of these fools trying to compare people to Ali. Let me tell you something. If Ali was in his prime today, he'd wipe everybody out in the high heavyweight division.
Yeah, he had something for everybody, for everything, every situation, you know.
Easily. Yeah. And I'm not talking about the Ali that
just smart.
Smart. I'm talking.
Dude, he was brilliant in the ring. That man had an IQ, a boxing IQ, unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boxing IQ, athleticism, height, power, speed,
everything,
defense, like everything you could want in a fighter. Yeah.
Well, bro, I remember everybody talking that Foreman was going to destroy him. Foreman was going to destroy him. Ali's getting old. Foreman, the young guys, big dude's going to tear him apart. And Ali picked that dude apart.
Yo, that scene right before he going into the ring is epic. You're like, what? I'm the one that's going up in the ring. Why y'all looking down?
Right.
If y'all don't believe I can fight, y'all stay here. I'll go out there by myself. But I'm coming back.
Not only beat him, he stopped him, knocked him out.
Yeah. I think that fight, though, I think that truly was the beginning of the decline for him. I mean,
that was around the time when
but
he
man, that dang him, Liston, and somebody else. I forgot who is it, Shavers?
Well, bro, they talk about people's chins. I've never seen anybody with a chin like Ali.
Oh no.
I know.
Oh no. He took some vicious. He took some hellacious shots. But you know,
him and Joe Frazier almost killed each other in their third fight, man. After round 10, I don't know how either one of them just kept coming out there, man. In that third fight.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Him and Frazier.
All three of their fights were brutal, man.
Yes. And Norton fights were brutal too. It's like, man, after that damn Norton fight. I mean, after that Foreman fight, it got ugly for Ali with the amount of punches he was taking.
Because he had a couple with Norton after that, didn't he? The second two with Norton, right? Yeah.
But I mean, like you said, man, no other icon in any sports is like Ali. Ali, no matter where he go, he's welcome
everywhere.
He's known
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, look, Cass, this morning there was a video of Earl coming out of the hospital in a wheelchair with a patch on his eye.
Okay.
And then he went on to explain he couldn't see the punches from Bud. So evidently he's had this eye condition. And think about it. If he would have put the fight off with Bud, there's a damn good chance Bud would have found a way out of it.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what he was worried about. So he took the damn fight anyway.
He said that was the other eye from the one he had the retina in, right? Detached retina.
Yeah. Yeah, because, his left eye was the problem the first time with the retina. Yeah. Right. This time it was the right eye he had the operation on.
That's the first I heard of that. Wow.
Yeah, and the man didn't look. The reason I think the man finally talked about it was because he got tired of taking heat from everybody and everybody speculating what was wrong with him. So he finally came out to clear the air. Well, now the Bud fans are going crazy because there's Arrow making excuses. Here we go with the BS.
That's why I didn't want to say that.
That's why.
Exactly.
Equalizers the ring.
Yeah.
Exactly. And bet your ass now for the next week or two, Bud fans are going to be in their feelings, showing their female tendencies going nuts.
Yeah.
Watch what I'm telling you.
Yeah, GP. I think GP been in here, haven't he? I think. Yeah, he was in before. Gregory Pratt. Yeah. So what you think they do for the second fight, Old School? Would that hurt it or anything?
Look, if Errol's 100%, he don't have the rib problems, he don't have the eye problem, he don't have the running at the altitude problem. It's going to be a different fight, a big different fight. Now, will he win? I don't know. Bud is skilled. Let's face it, Bud has skills.
Yeah.
He's probably more skilled than Errol, but can Errol
make it a better
muster up what it takes to beat Bud? That's the question.
You know, to me, the thing that was the oddity in that fight, and I say it especially towards Bud too, was the fact that I never seen Spence on the ground for one, but open up like he was, and I've never seen Bud open up anybody like that before.
Yeah.
And then crazy. You couple that with the fact that he walked into the locker room after the fight with them gloves on, and you're not supposed to do that. We got to make sure that their stackings is on legit. See, that's what I'm saying. In 224, They gotta make sure that like supplementation, like gloves, the wrapping of hands, you know, weighing in, all these things, judging the fights, refereeing fights is all on a scale that everybody is rated by, and it has to adhere to. Because
I know
I've never seen Spitz open up like that ever. Never seen him drop, and he got dropped by a jab.
Well, let's face it, dude. Spence's IQ. I mean, not IQ. Spencer had no equilibrium in that fight.
No, he wasn't.
And was that due? I mean, I go back to, was that due to the running up the hill, plus the eyeball problem? Could be, you know. But he didn't have an equilibrium.
No, he didn't.
He was stumbling. I don't care what anybody says. He was stumbling when he got in the ring.
I'm not beating around the bush. I'm saying that in 2024, they need to make sure that wrapping is done the one way. There's no alternate way. You got to wrap this way. You select your gloves. The sanctioning body take their gloves and put them up. When they take in supplements, everybody got to be able to take that supplement. It can't be no, well, in this region you can do it, you can't do it in this region. You know, when they grading fights, they judging fights, they got to judge. They scorecard need to be up on displays so people can see how they judging.
Right. What I want to know is why they don't have ex-boxers judging these fights.
That's a good question.
I mean, come on, bro. Half these judges don't even know what the hell they're looking at, it seems. And you got ex-boxers that could be damn good freaking judges. Pay them, man. A lot of them in money problems to begin with. Pay them and let them be judges.
Nah, Bugger, I'm not really saying that Bud put some B. I know he did double stack, and I know he didn't take them gloves off, and I know he cut that damn thumb thing because he was able to extend his hand fully. You can never. I'm a strong ass bro. I can never extend my hand all the way out in some brand new gloves.
Man, Monster took his glove off in the ring. He had tape like 3 inches up off his knuckles, man.
Yeah, and he shouldn't be able to do that.
You see that shit?
He shouldn't be able to do that.
Man.
No, I didn't see that.
And they said that Bud had his stuff super stacked as well too. But on top of that, he cut the little thing that keeps it tight right there in that ball, so that he could extend his fist like that and paw and catch the jabs and things like that, but also manipulate the gloves. See, that stuff shouldn't happen.
No.
So yeah, that right there, that I agree. That was some shady stuff. The stacking.
What's wrong with gloving up in the ring?
Glove was shady.
You know, gloving up in the ring, let the referee look at the tape and all that, and then the other side watch you glove up and all that in the ring.
And on top of that, when you're finished in the fight, you're supposed to turn the gloves into the sanctioning body right then and there in the ring. How was he able to walk back?
Bud didn't do that?
No,
they always take him off in the ring.
All the way to the back.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Wow. They always take him off right there in the ring.
You know you the professor.
Because, you know, when the referee have him right there and raised the winner's hand, they both standing there with no gloves on, right? Usually.
Yeah, but not Bud. Bud walked in the back. You see him going in the back, getting ready to hug Shakur with both of them gloves on.
I didn't even notice. There's iBoxing Hub, my friend from the UK.
iBoxing Hub, my God. What's good with you, brother?
All the way from the UK. iBoxing Hub. We missed the top 10 European boxers of all time today, bro.
I think it was a combination of things. I think it was a bad weight cut. I think it probably was medication. I think it was that damn whatever he did up in the mountain.
Well, I had heard from my inside source that he definitely had a rib problem in camp. They said that he didn't spar the last few weeks before the fight. Like 4 weeks before the fight, he wasn't sparring.
That's early. Wow, to stop sparring. Man, 4 weeks.
Yeah,
that's
well, if he's got a rib injury, why would you risk it and get hit?
That's what I'm saying. That's not good, though, you know? So that could have hurt him bad, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
and then if you got
I think the biggest factor was that damn Pacquiao fight not going down. That changed everything. That was his big payday. He couldn't get it. Yeah,
he got Ugerson, but that wasn't as big as Pacquiao, right?
Huh?
Right. But he did get another fight in. But that was over a year though. Ugas was like February, early 2020.
But Ugas is not
April.
no Pacquiao though.
Yeah, I'm just saying the time in between fights too though. It was way over a year, remember?
Yeah,
Ugas was April 2022.
And then the rest of it was the superior skill set of Bud. Bud was on point that night. Yeah. It's just like certain things just didn't play into the favor of that being a good fight. And a lot of it, unfortunately, was on the side of Earl and what he did to get into the ring. But that being the case, if there's gonna be some kind of speculation, the ring gonna settle it. So just sell it in the ring. I don't like doing a lot of the talking that a lot of people do.
Justin James in the building. What's up, Justin?
Because first and foremost, I'm not going up them stairs. I'm not getting in that ring, and I'm not going against the person that we're talking about.
Exactly.
On top of that, these people are not doing that. All it is chatter back and forth, whether it be online, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. I'm tired of that stuff. Like, it don't need to be no more talk. Get in the ring. You said you know what? You stand on the words. This dude can't beat me. No matter what weight we at, no matter what gloves we in, he can't beat me. Let's get back in there and let's run it.
Hey, look, fellas, each of y'all make a final point. We got to get out of Just D's way. It's about 4. Okay. So, y'all want to add something else you want to add before we get out of here?
All I'm gonna say is shout out to my guy, old head Jay Hardcore.
Yeah, he came into the building. He used to be resting around the time my show comes on during the day.
All right, guys.
Okay, old school. Appreciate you, bro.
Always a pleasure, old school.
And you
peace,
too, Thomas. Good to see you.
Man, for me, all I'm just saying is, hey, it's always good to just talk boxing and let it be the thing that we talk about and not talk about people and put them down and lift somebody else up. That is so tired and I'm done with it. So I don't want to do that no more.
Yes, sir.
And I just see you guys over there at Just Do Boxing.
Thank you. On the way over. Thank you, T Hill. All right. I appreciate everybody in the building today. Real quick. Justin James, JBT, iBoxing Hub, J Hardcore. Of course, he's the creator of JBT. Gregory Pratt, Pound JBT, BN Boxing News, Just Do Boxing. Probably on now. I'm getting ready to get out of here. I'm Drake Finest, Skywalker, Jaleese Hart, B3, Boxing Menu Podcast, Mike Bazik, I Serve, Al Booger, Remo, Pound JBT. Getting ready to start his podcast. Let's Talk Fashion. Coming very soon. And I appreciate everybody that continues to rock with me on my growing channel. Yeah, sports, y'all. And we gone.